I will say, I think, again, two things that were kind of win conditions for this composition, or I guess I should say the Lotus for WADA, not necessarily this composition, was the ability for players like Starbound, the players like Australis to anchor their sights as the Deadlock, as the Chamber. And I feel like Stay had some glimmering moments for that on Bind, particularly on the defense. So we're going to have to see that in full strength here, starting on the defense. And right out the gate as well, over towards C. Mount, and it's Oriental to shut them down. I'm sorry for caster cursing you, Stay.
Oh, so fast, too. The Rendezvous's just back there at the waterfall. Could not even get the button clicked. Man. So quick B mount insert, or a C mount insert, I should say. And now they go for rubble here. A little bit of a wall creep up before they swing out. Yeah, then they see one. So cross map play is known by WADA here, and they are playing more of a retake to allow the team time to get back in.
Yeah, this just screams that they were shaken by the performance on Sunset here a little bit. You're not fighting forward A, not keeping control over that position here. Playing retake, it sells that maybe, again, coaching got involved, or like we need a change in ideology, we need to play retake here. And I mean, hey, C's nades denied the spike plan for now. Quick way to deal with glow stick here, but YFPX just waiting, weathering the storm, ready to challenge.
Oh, the double swing. Wide swing by Power Pixel. As you see, Femboy taking the close one there, but Scary Shark is still able to help. Kills coming from both sides here, and it looks tight for Sharad. The first one's missed, but that was going to be a headshot click, and not enough through the wall, not enough damage overall. And it is going to be WADA grabbing that pistol round. Yeah,
they're saying hasta la vista, baby, to the Terminator. That was Sharad from the last map. Shut them down on the pistol. Kestrel, instrumental in that. Yeah, maybe also true to the fact that the first shot goes awry onto Juna. But WADA, now, what is that? Quick math, guys. That would be 4 out of 5 pistol rounds. Yeah, won by WADA. So we mentioned momentum, how that was going to be a factor here, continuing from a 13-2 upset kind of on Sunset into Lotus. But right the ship, keep it grooving. And it does come off of that, I think, newfound respectable call it for YFPX. Playing so far off, playing for retake, which is kind of anti-characteristic of Lotus, and you know how you feel like A main control is so pivotal.
Yeah. They do hold a bit of it here. As C is the fight again. Ooh. Stay Val starts them off. Got to see a good game from all those early kills from Stay Val here. And that's one way to get it going.
So there were shining moments, and one of those was the Outlaw from Stay. Power with the Ghost has always been surprising as well, so a shot from stairs all the way to deep rubble is also a statement. But this is interesting, right? It's double stacking your Sentinels here on the C site, right? So you don't expect the Vice util here, perhaps, and you've gotten caught trying to trip the wall. Stay Val, good for another. And any attempts to decide to execute pretty much punish. A Stay even challenges over the wall, but then it's Sharad. Don't underestimate them.
It's the overheal. Thinking a push fight is coming through, but WADA hold off this round well. The last round, this was the one YFP, or last map, I should say. This second round is the one YFP took and started to run away with it. So WADA playing much safer here, knowing the Thrifty is very much possible. I mean, not at this point, but the triple stack will be a key to ending Sharad there.
Very, very nicely done. They keep weaponry moving forward. And I'm curious, again, when the approach is going to change, when they're going to flip the script, right? Because, again, it's minus against Stay, who has a Rendezvous, can play back, has this comfortability of Kestrel's utility. They can take the risks. But I'm wondering, and it looks like I'm going to get my answer, when they were going to start going back to the more traditional fight forward over towards A. And Power and Femboy, they're the duo that's been together, playing together for a long time. So they're going to be in sync with the util. The Season 8 combo is going to be on point. Let's see how they can hold down this A main control with worse weapons. Or just Season 8
neon.
Okay.
All right. Didn't dash out. Maybe Zoriental would try and clear that position with a slide, but is not the case. A main is the control. Well, that B push coming out of YFP is doing a little searching. They're going on an adventure, and they'll start to hear the chamber trip right to their left. Quick click. Seeing if they can draw a fight. And they're just tempting it. I like the fact that WADA is just staying so safe. They're saying, no, there's more power in all of us together here if we can catch the right timing on a retake.
Such an identity shift from Sunset to here on Lotus, and a great call. It's starting to work. It's, again, I talked about how predictable they were on Sunset. Now it's a completely different team. YFPX, less than a minute left. Heimer getting eaten away by this lack of just information, right? Nobody's showing themselves.
You can see how much it's making YFP feel a little antsy, right? Sherrod would have gotten a kill, maybe 2 by now, and opening up the map, and they're going to have to go with the death ball towards A, and Sherrod will be rotating all the way around just to be the late flank.
Does mean, though, you have to rely solely on this toxic screen. Worst weaponry for this retake, but strength in numbers here perhaps, and a risk taken by Zoriental as well that can be easily punished by Juno with the close range stinger. So this round is starting to slip away. WADA lining themselves up for a potential thrifty. As you can see, Sherrod, we mentioned the late wrap coming in late to the round as well, as it all falls down to Oppie. Mind games door. Doesn't matter when it's Power Pixel and the Sheriff on the other side.
Got the stinky face out of me on that one. I was like, oh man, that's a hell of a shot. Power Pixel finding it. Look at these upgrades,
all over
too.
Vandal is crazy. They know they broke the bank. They know it's going to be light shields next round. That's a statement, all right, Stay, to pick it up over the out. Why didn't you just buy the Outlaw and hand the Vandal to Kestrel? I say that as a friend of Stay. But aside from that, WADA 3-0, a great momentum change for them. Again, we were nervous coming into this map, you know, and we expected it to be close. I don't want another one-sided map, Riv. I don't want another 13-2, but for WADA either.
Yeah. No, if history repeats, this has got to be at least a close one again, right? We already had our not close map between these two. So now it goes back to being close, apparently.
Apparently.
They did it, not me. You're pushing out to see the 3-1-1. And WADA says, we are not going to commit hardly at any of these sites. Look at the rotation already from Femboy leaning towards the C side and just leaving Power Pixel to kind of figure out with Haunts and Prowlers what's going on at A with Vision.
I was wondering if they're going to get baited again into the Outlaw from Stay there. Because again, it's so anti-characteristic to have both Sentinels stacked on the same site, but it's also smart here, right? Juno needs to be able to be in close proximity to smoke multiple sites, so playing B is just logical. And this is an interesting call. I like that they've spotted out Sherrod. They understand it's an eco. It could be a quick B pop, but that's why you have a Trip and the Thorns. So they're combining the Sentinel utility really, really well.
Right in.
Are they going A?
They're going to go to A? Are they going to A? I love this if they're going to A. Love the silly strats here. They're going to have to clear, and that's basically what the body of the Neon is for, but they can't continue to clear the body of Neon and the rest of WADA. Oh, wait, Sherrod got a knife. Sherrod is alive and
respect the knife duel, and they will show it right back. Power goes forward, Sherrod returns, and we mention, okay, you have some fun if you're WADA, but you ultimately need to win out the round. Immediately after the antics falter, they set up the high-low, they secure their fourth.
That was interesting. That was a bit, I mean, I like the strat. I love zany stuff, but it's definitely a little bit of an overcook. It seemed like they had good positioning on the side of B.
I agree.
But maybe they feel like they waited too long and they would have just been closed in. It was too quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it was necessarily a sense of waiting too long. I think they knew that immediately they were going to be outgunned on that retake for the B site. Because it wasn't like they didn't have shotguns, they didn't have Buckies, they didn't have Stingers. Right. So it wasn't like they were going to be favored in these close fights regardless. So it definitely caught them off guard. It was just power and how fast they was able to make it to stairs with that Outlaw that really tipped things in their favor. But speaking of tipping things in their favor, YFPX, timeout taken here at an understandable point. Again, entering a rifle round where it's going to be WADA, you know, quick track to their 6th if you lose this. And you have some good ultimates to work with. Sherrod, not dead yet. Steel Garden for the Vice. And I feel like, what do I want to see out of them? See, on lockdown, we've noticed that there's a double Sentinel. At some point, Stay is going to upgrade to the Operator, and it's probably now the tour de force. I think A is the weak side right now for WADA, because they're not fighting, right, for Rubble. They're not fighting forward here. And I think that's the exact reason why they've now switched the Vice here, is they've read into that, and I think they're going to have the Vice play for maybe 1 kill, play offsite, but then play the retake with the Nightfall.
It's so dangerous to do on this map, but I'd love to see that chamber trip getting destroyed more to at least draw a set of eyes. Might give them something to work on. Well, you're right. That tour de force is going to be on the left side. Operator cash for the next round, and no. They're pushing out C, and they're trying to push up B as well. They're going to take all of this space. Oppie, it hasn't received any of the damage just yet. And it's going to be Stayval to get it. Stay coming up with a quick tour de force shot, and they're going to be rotating now around YFPX, who has to move into the site now.
not just move into the site, but flip the site, right? You see all those players coming from flank. Oppie communicated it, and that's the issue, is that Kestrel is wondering if she's going to be able to maintain this position and shut down this attempt. So far, so good. Just trying to buy more time. Arc row's perfect, but the timing, they second guess themselves off the half line as Sherrod punishes. Now can repivot, but the spray down is good, and they are scraping the bottom of the barrel, having to utilize all these ultimates just to keep control over the site, and it is still faltering unless Zoriental. Good stun. It's all down to power. 1v1. The Fade Dip delivers this glow stick, keeps it intact, and it delivers YFPX's first round on Lotus.
This fight is
Big timeout coming through. And you mentioned YFPX had some ultimates to make these rounds happen. Didn't really need to use any. They hit the shots, had the teamwork, kept quite a few alive, and now they come into this round feeling good. We did expect the off, though, from WADA. So, man, it's going to hurt if this becomes just a reset round for YFPX and WADA takes back.
Yep, it would definitely not be what they want to see. But again, YFPX, I think the big thing out of the timeout was identifying they aren't fighting for A main. That's something we can exploit. And that's why they've maybe changed things up here just a bit. Arya in position to fight off the revolving door here. Onto as well to reveal. This is the Odin off the switch. No!
Oh, just to the right.
They got bit.
Uh-oh. Bit in the buns.
Steel Garden's coming in.
They'll be safe for now. Yeah, I was wondering when Steel Garden would hit A. It's so effective here to clear out towards the back. They have not been able to really break the halfway point of the site, though. They're leaving it empty, even though it was cleared. This could be a problem for them. Rod takes down Power Pixel for a moment, though. And it does give WADA a little bit of room now to start to creep into the site.
Look at flank.
It's going to be big from Femboy. The flank as well, as they're just trying to clear out and let everybody know it's inside. This is getting to be a weird defense.
And they all got kind of corralled here into Cubby. The force is closing in, and the wallbangs connect. Again, WADA playing a safe style retake, and it turns up in spades. WADA, like you mentioned, wrestled the momentum, the reins right back. After YFPX just get a blip on the radar in terms of the rounds this half.
We're here because we're the best.
Did the Odin scare him that much to not know where it went, maybe? And to not break back sight, especially after using Steel Garden like that, seems like a bit of a misplay there.
I think it was because of the
YFP.
consistent pressure out of stairs, right? I think they
True,
wanted
that left
to.
side
They
needed to be tended to.
they responded to power and then kind of like swung out, and that's when Juna came out and was rezzing. So they're also trying to track the res down if you want them not to get the dismiss. I agree there was maybe some miscommunication there and poor decision making, but bygones are bygones. It still feels like the best answer for YFPX right now is A. They just need to then, focus on how do we clean up the post plant, how do we take deeper control, because we're getting A main control pretty much for free. I mean, Sherrod just did it again, finding Femboy so early on. This time the Odin isn't going to find the early victim. And
No charges.
Power, again, had a rare whip last round, is looking for early impact here alongside Juna. They want to get these numbers re-evened.
Is this the time? We saw YFP playing the macro so well last map, almost avoiding WADA at every turn. We're getting a little bit of that again here. There'll obviously be an alert from the wall, but if they could do a 5 jump.
Still going for retake.
Yeah.
Now you're offside, so you're going to hopefully buy out the timer of the overdrive. You were hopefully going to avoid the Steel Garden, but that's not going to actually play instead for... See, I'm looking at, the Steel Garden's coming for retake here. Zoriental doesn't have a resource anymore to delay it, right? Or deny it, I should say.
They push spawn. They're going to push spawn, so the Steel Garden isn't hitting as much. Also, keeping those pistols out will be good. They're just trying to find Sherrod with it for the moment. Scary Shark falls to stave out, and that's the first of many steps needed. Ooh.
They got jammed. And now the backstep's coming in as well. I don't think they realize that power's from Mound. Oppie shuts them down regardless, and it's down to the 1v1. Juna just trying to leverage the better weapons. Goes for the tap. Oppie, again, delivered the one clutch on Sunset, is asking to do it again, but pros don't fake, and Juna, while they may fall, will secure WADA 6 nonetheless.
And that seemed like a head count, too. Maybe pausing a little too much on a 1/1000 for just a half second. It seemed like they had the count. It was almost there. So close, but beautiful play. WADA creeps away with another one there that could have gone YFP's way, but the Steel Garden ensures that Sherrod does not have a weapon on that site hit, because it looked like they were in a good spot to start doing some damage, too.
Yeah, WADA looking clean, looking up like they're changing things up here, right, with this double sentinel on the defense, where, yeah, attack-sided map, so even with the double sentinel, I'm scared for the next half will hold, but for now, entire team rolling up on stay, heavy burden placed upon their shoulders, and at least they have a quick way to get out. Rendezvous to Blue Room, they can take another engagement here. Sharad's unlikely to smoke off that corner, but it's like all that effort was just a deposit, and I feel like WADA's not gonna leave that unchecked. The fade rotating over could just easily set the power.
Getting ready for that retake, at least disrupt it if they were still hanging out. Who's gonna go? Are they gonna try to pop this wall from now on? We actually haven't seen too much of that.
Look at how deep the players are. The ping comes from stairs as well. Arya has to communicate that this is happening, and it doesn't seem like the comms have come through. They're still anchoring C. Femboy.
Thinking that maybe more people are coming through the door. This is going to be all on Femboy here. I thought YFP was going straight for stairs. They're going to crunch B now. You can see the spikes hitting just outside. You're right. Not hearing that chamber utility. Ready to stop them. They should be able to waltz right in here and get a deep left plant.
Well, should be. Delay utility just barely goes south. They're able to get the Viper's pit up as well. If Arya gets a rogue kill through the smoke, though, that would be Showstopper online, and you can just let a Hail Mary fly. I think that's what they're trying to set them up for, right? Stay can dive in. Juna can dive in right before and set them up. But no, Zoriental through the smoke instead counters. And all the kills are going YFPX's way.
Oh my gosh, it's B. You're basically arm's reach from anybody the moment you step foot into the site. So hard to stay alive. Yeah, Juna, run. Run, lace the shoes up and get out of there. Quick thigh shot over to Scary Shark. Overheal just to manage a bit of tag damage if possible. And a little bit of a skidda boost there as they run forward. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, blood in the water. This is getting tough. Oh! Looks to get that online shot instead of the off angle. And Sharad takes the advantage, gets the kill, and they drop the op down.
Yeah, YFPX just playing the mind games there. And WADA, I think a bit did kind of overcommit to that C rotate there, thinking there's not enough time to go anywhere else. And I think that came out of how far off site that Femboy was playing on A, right? I don't think there was any noise being generated from Scary Shark. I think it was Oppie as well that was looking with them. So you didn't really know until where they were going until it was too late. And they didn't really have any resources to navigate that retake, to navigate that Viper's Pit. So you're not going to have a Viper's Pit every round, so maybe one off for YFPX here, but WADA still innovating. Looks like they wanted to get aggressive C. That's what kind of a clove raise kind of postures you for, but looks like they might have mistimed it and are instead just going to play for the site delay.
Yeah, I was going to say big creep out mid from Stayval. I didn't think that angle was there yet. Wide as could be on the swing. Does find Scary Shark up towards the top of mid on T-spawn. And they keep inserting Oppie over here on the right side, playing the wall, playing the distraction. You can see Power Pixel's interested in what might be going on over there. But YFP have committed onto this left side, and they are going to find a whole lot of trouble if they go in.
I thought they got past device utility, the main threat, but there's more lurking beyond, and it should have been the showstopper that put an end to it, but ultimately sprayed down. No dice, and Sharad's hunting for a stray WADA player, but it's actually Oppie to find the stray, and it's all down to power with the Marshall in a 1v3.
Wow.
No close weapons for recovery. B-site probably the most promising.
Yeah, it should be all right. Everybody, I think, just taking their eyes off that angle for a moment. Obviously not peeking too much, so the side of YFP can't figure out who is going to be guarding C. But everybody, okay, we're going to use util, back up, get ready, and they just walk right in. You don't expect that very often, especially on C. It's one of the rounds they don't have the vised wall there either.
I'm getting a sense of familiarity here, and I'm wondering if we're going to get a similar proactive WADA timeout to what we had over on Vine. I don't remember the scoreline for that. I feel like that was more of like a 6-4, wasn't it, when they took it?
I think so.
Either way, like, I feel like this is like you've lost attack pause. That's a different type of pause. I felt something, you know, in the vibes, and apparently it was a tech pause. I got a misread, guys. Don't worry about it. But either way, this is a nice breather, right? 6-3 entering the final stretch of the half. WADA picked to start on the defense here. Outside of that, I mean, again, it's money breaking for WADA. YFP kind of hit a vein of consistency, so they should be good for the next few rounds. And they're coming in with a Nightfall. I think
it took a bit after that too, because they got reset on that round. We're like, maybe they do, maybe they don't, and then they did. So it takes 2 rounds to get back. A lot of just look at the scoreboard here during the tech pause as we get a player restarted back into the game. So thank you for bearing with us. Is there you see the few kill rounds, right? The X's coming in for WADA's side, but a lot of those retakes just being much more confident and having the team ready to get into the site. You talked about that mental change, and it seems to be clicking here for Sunset on the third map, or Lotus on the third map.
And do you think that it slipped a few in the last few rounds? Because we kind of had them fight forward, right? They didn't let them onto the C site, and they got punished for that.
Right, they played their positions where it's kind of like, hey, we'll cast all our util from a dangerous spot in sight because we feel safe. And not that waterfall crux is dangerous to the right from the get-go, but nobody watching the front, I think kind of it lets them rely on, oh, somebody's going to use util, we can chill for a second. And if you're doing that, that's safer when you're outside the site for the retake. So, yeah, I think that it's not happening all the time, but those little moments are catching WADA off guard at times.
So we're kind of reinstantiating the principle, okay, guys, you don't have to play up so close. You don't have to live by the site, die by the site. Get off player retake. And we mentioned, okay, it was complicated by a Viper split when they played retake on B. That's probably why they went back to their old ways, because that round shook their confidence. But honestly, go back to it. You don't need ultimates to get back in. The only person they're permitting to get aggressive is Stay. Only player that's allowed. You have a rendezvous, you can get out. Nobody else has that same luxury.
And they get the wall back at C so that cheeky walk-in will not be a thing anymore. Ooh. Waiting a bit for that Nightfall to get as many tags as possible. They actually go far to the right so they don't catch anything from that waterfall connector.
They are, in fact, playing the retake. The crunch is good. Spike is down. Stay playing around this frontal smoke, trying to find a second on to Nora. The quick scope doesn't align as Oppie shuts them down, but damage is done. That's a major player taken out. That's Sherrod taken out here. And they still have yet to get the spike plan down. It's consistent beraidment from WADA, and Juna is right back into the fight as they make the pivot to A. Looks good, and I do like them to fight forward here. This is actually really good stabilization effort.
This is nice.
Spike planted.
So to see those opening kills, YFP feels very comfortable about their movement on the map after. When they can take the upper hand. Double swing, stays alive, and Femboy almost makes that one. Works with a bit of trickery on the strafing back and forth to draw the crosshairs. Kestrel now coming back in. Should be another round for YFP, and they get back to that macro control we were talking about earlier. Even with the Nightfall missing in B site, still everybody on the same play. Whether or not it did hit, that teamwork is really what brought them a lot of the previous rounds on Vine. I'm sorry, on Sunset.
Not even the teamwork.
All twisted up.
Not even the teamwork here was what gave them the round. It was just that quick call. They were all on the same page, right, to rotate to E and get that proactive positioning as well. I said I thought Bino was 6-4 when they took that proactive timeout when things started slipping. We saw how that ended. It was an 8-4 half, so they did stabilize. They did come up with, again, these one-off approaches that give them an advantage. The difference here is that, again, I think the mechanics are kind of like equating finally. It's like WADA was ahead map 1 by a lot, YFPX was ahead by a lot map 1, and they're kind of evening out. So I don't think they're going to get away with that same sort of trickery. So other than that, I mean, one-off from a Nightfall, so maybe you have them set up to get that orb control over towards A. But outside of that, there's no money, so hard to say otherwise.
Stay's been doing a good job at stepping up, too, to get some of these early kills or at least find out from a position of information what's happening. YFP isn't finding the result of Sherrod First Blood's run around the map for free either. So WADA, in the sense of being in retake position, also the 1v1s that they're trying, beyond that, just kind of at the beginning of the round or the way they're playing extremities is a lot safer too.
I'm seeing YFPX go back to their approach post their first timeout, which is this A fight. And I am loving this from WADA. Is this going to be finally what I've been asking for, which is to stake your claim on A main? You know, get your raise up on Rebel since you don't have an Omen. Hold that position off the C's nade. I think it's going to be that, but my concern is that Neon can outpace it. They've got to win this exchange if they are going for it. And I said it was going to be just if they win the fight, they win the fight.
Ooh, Haunt to the left a little bit there. They're able
Fight
to
against
walk
Neon.
up freely. I wonder if they knew it. Knocks down on the Prowler. It's actually not going to hit. Oh my gosh. Femboy hits 2 coming out. Like in the shooting range for a moment as Zoriental's able to trade back with 3. They knew it was just going to be Sheriff, so Zoriental activates and retakes control of the area.
They had Tour de Force online for Stay as well here. And with both with the Sentinel falling, no util on the flank either, so Stay can get an angle very similar to what happens when they follow sight to Cubby. We've seen this before, and it's going to be copy-paste. They get proper timing, and the gun upgrade off the toxic screen. Alpi's watching it, though. And so the flick doesn't connect. Kestrel knows where both players are. Zoriental is 1 HP with the shot from the Sheriff.
Realizes, nah, they're not going to
No
be.
guns.
No. Oh no! The
Not
hot
like
foot
this.
cooked up a little bit. Gonna go for that hit on the defuse just to draw some attention out, but it is gonna be another round here for YFP as Oppie hits the Sheriff shot, and it's looking very much like it could be a 6-6.
Last round before the switch.
Such a great attempt following the timeout. Again, creative. Again, they changed the tempo. They conditioned YFPX to say that they weren't fighting for A main, that they weren't sinking their teeth into rubble, and they suddenly did. But all in all, YFPX, the weapon advantage was too much in their favor. Again, it was a little bit of a disconnect between the remaining 2 players as well. They had full reliance on Stay, who's having a decent map, but I wish Kesher was a little bit more in the fight at the same time there. So, hey, we wanted a close map. It looks like we are going to get it, whether it's the 6-6 or the 7-5 now that weapons are back in hand. See the full impact of that timeout, and it's still, again, fight for A, trust and stay to anchor C, force these players into your trio.
Odin spam? Oh, we didn't get it. We might, though. We do see it from Glowstick. Nice shot by Staysdale over on the other side. They're pushing out at C. Rinse and repeat. They keep it going, and it finally picks up one. As YFP always finding their fights on the other side of the map. If this is happening somehow, push through. They're going to have A now, and it's going to be the 2v2 as Glowstick limps on through with Scary Shark here to take control of A.
And I asked for more coordination between these 2, between Kestrel and Stay. Seems like they have heeded my warning and are playing this side by side, little high-low action to punish anybody who wanted to get proactive. My concern is that it is last round of the half. Scary Shark has the Steel Garden, even if Glowstick is low HP. They haven't pulled it out yet, and they might just lose that opportunity to do so. Kestrel, though, alone peaks, and now it's just Stay with it
There it is.
up, and it's going to get stripped away.
Headhunter's still good here. Chambers are more than happy to use that, but you can't use it really if you can't see too much. And Scary Shark gets a 4th on the round, answering the call from Zobi. Scary Shark need to step up. Okay, they have. Here they are coming up a little bit better. And 7-10, but getting a lot of the pivotal kills that are turning the rounds for the team and making things happen and get across the map.
Yeah, before this 5-round streak as well, yeah, like you mentioned, Scary was having a difficult map. I was mentioning, okay, Sentinel isn't the strongest in their wheelhouse, but the way they've been able to wrestle back again these chaotic situations, these chaotic A main fights in particular, like you mentioned, a little cap off, really nice.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to pistols. It's been WADA taking the helm. YFP, I think, is one very impactful ones, like to close out Sunset. Here would be a statement one, again, claim the lead after being down so far. Looks like Stay is gonna be, I'm gonna say, a little bit risky. Being risky.
Oh, okay. Just one more peek for fun, apparently. Easily could have caught a bullet there, but you love to see the re-info grab just to see how many people are out there. And this is another door play coming through. Really only saw one of these from YFP when they were going back on attack side. Might just be something WADA love to use here, as it looks like they are going to hit C. And YFP is staying for this. They are right there ready to fight.
Yeah, I think Stay is calmed that they like still had that stack over towards A side. Now they're gonna be the one receiving it with open arms. Headhunter off of a A side Steel Garden, a steel wall while they're execing C. Clearly unexpected, and now it comes to ping-ponging between the Anchor Sentinel and the Viper. And Scary Shark, while Chipped Image is found, is yet to find the ever-important kills. Right-click RNG connects, but so does the follow-up frags from WADA. With the reflood, the rotations from A have finally come in, and it's Glowstick Power Pixel. Redemption time for Power, and unfortunately it's Glowstick again to win out a pivotal round for YFPX.
Wow. These pistols are down to the wire. TechPod's going to be coming out of that one Let's see what the result is. And yeah, Glowstick has absolutely been stepping up with whether it's the Guardian or these Ghost rounds. Absolute awesome play that we have seen here to put YFP on top, like you said, grabbing the lead for the first time on this Lotus matchup. And looking great versus WADA here.
If there is a time for a WADA Thrifty to come through, it would be now. Not off of a force, just off of the few sheriffs that we're seeing littering.
Yeah.
By as we wait for this tech pause to come to a conclusion. Want to see a little B-pop action. My concern is Oriental on this Outlaw. We've seen the Stay Outlaw, you know, ringing in the server. I feel like we haven't really seen it from Zoriental too much, so opportunity for that as the timer gets unpaused and we do go on to resume.
Let's go.
We're gonna run into each other, eh?
I sure hope so. I want to see the all-out battle. You can't get as much with no nade drop, but you can hopefully get the metal over the shoulder.
Wait, stay with the Outlaw Force?
Just seize and relay. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Let's see how it works.
Head versus Oriental. And they win out the duel, but it's against Sherrod to follow up to refrag. Power picks out, collects their trophy. Outlaw back in hand, going back to avenge their fallen comrade. And again, Sherrod. Terminator's back.
Crosshair wasn't really where they wanted. Yeah, Sherrod says, you took too long. Goodbye. Half a second is just too much. Sherrod falls as it's becoming the 1v1ville out here towards A. The smoke kind of just separating everybody a little bit from those peek outs. But yeah, it's still being given by YFP to get these 1v1s in as Glowstick stays safe in sight. Trying to buy time for this rotation here. Scary says, get over here so we can jump this wall and make it happen.
And all this is going to keep the Fade on site. They're probably going to re-haunt to make sure there was no lurk player seaside. But, I mean, at this point...
Well, they haven't turned.
They need to know. This is not a lack of communication, I'd hope, Juna.
Yeah, they looked for a second where they're like, we can buy the time. I think they were realizing that there wouldn't be a run through the wall, and now B-Plant comes in. So really nice coordination by WADA to get out of that situation. And see if they can get themselves a plant here at B.
Spike planted.
Oh. Guardian in hand, though. Proactivity punished. Much like what we've seen WADA's downfalling prior. Now numbers advantage shift back in YFPX's favor. 2 players in from Blue Room. They know exactly where these players were in C-Lane.
This becomes really tough. Blocked off. Prowler gonna try to get the defuse. Not too much util to be dropped in. Oh my god, wait! Now that's the nade back after 2 kills for Femboy. Has to get off the spike just for now. We don't have too much of a defuse on it. It's actually at half. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's happening right now? Femboy does the dance. A 4K Red Bull clutch to get Glowstick. They were back to back, touching heels at one point in that instance.
YFPX meet the WADA Thrifty and the right-click RNG that Femboy possesses. That's one way for WADA to clutch up a round to equate a 7-7. Honestly, when I saw the first kill go the way of Glowstick over towards C, like spawn, I was like, WADA might have overcooked on taking the fight to YFPX with the better weaponry, but the sight smoke there from Juna allows Femboy to play that out beautifully.
It's so crazy. We wouldn't be getting a lot of these instances if we didn't have the Clove players.
Yeah.
This is crazy. These end game rounds are crazy.
They've been inspired. Now, I mean...
Where did it go?
Your money's back versus you shattered YPXs. This is one way to get the lead back. You shut down Scary Sharks. That would take any possible utility off C. Oh, Oppie... feeling the desperation set in, is trying to make a move for the team. Look, they've pushed all the way through Mound. Good info so that at least the masses, you know, Sherrod, Glowstick can rotate back towards A to support Zoriental here.
Oh, they have to clear it, right? Oh, save out. Nose sticking out a little bit there, and Zoriental takes it off. But it's traded. More of a one-and-done position they were expecting as WADA looks for more of those. Very fast movement always by Oppie here, especially on the ecos. They'll just play a little trickier with popping the wall. Oh, my word. Glowstick on the collat. Make it another one. Femboy goes between the racking of bullets.
30 seconds left.
As Glowstick looked for another one.
I was a little concerned there. There wasn't much util follow-up there to clear out the site space, but doesn't mean there wasn't any left for Power. Power, another clutch. Another opportunity. And this time they will put themselves back on the map. What is that? Third time they've been called upon. This time it wasn't against Glowstick, their arch nemesis in the server. So get the job done. But YFPX made that one hurt for a save round.
They really did. Kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Nightfall comes off of that for Power Pixel. So Power Pixel. So if any round comes in here from YFPX, it's hard. Should be a buy for Scary Shark, even with low armor here at 3850. So they may need it again with the amount of people going down. It should be a rebuy. We see Stay only has 3,800, so it becomes tougher there for them to get this op back online if they really want to get aggressive. We saw the Outlaw not really helping there for a moment.
We saw the consistent attack side operator over on Bind. I think it would help there for maybe the C openings, but I also don't think they're as keen on fighting C-Mount because they don't have that kind of chamber. They don't really have that Yoru that can get away from that style of engagement. It does feel like YFPX is playing a very traditional Lotus, right? 2 to 3 players taking A main control, leaving a player there deposited while the rest redisperse and wait for information to rotate off of. I do like the late reclears that we've been seeing out of players like Oppie. I think that's been super helpful for the calling for Scary Shark on where these players need to be going. And they have kind of cut WADA off on a lot of these rotates or gotten behind them. But again, WADA's productivity, flipping the map, flipping the sites, really come in clutch to that degree. So IFPX. What do you change? Do you fight C instead, you know, with the Neon? Set the Vice up A? Can't we be talking about it now since it is just a monitor issue tech pause, but still things that can be considered.
Alright, so let's consider for YFP. If you're to play your own game, I think it is to stay back, work on Glowstick with this, play a few of the just early game. I mean, you don't have the Raise nade, but you can still kind of meddle, maybe get a relay in there or seize and a relay in there and follow up with some damage of your own with that Odin through the wall, through that little clip of stone. But I think you can expect to see orb grabbing, right? Kind of play off what WADA is going to want out of this. You don't do too much talking in attack pause, but the team can obviously consider they're going to get ults pretty soon for Juna and Femboy. They could be working towards C to get that first. So even for the audio calls and listening for way that WADA's moving could start to help YFP bring a few more in their favor, I think. Because it's WADA's across the map here. It seems like on the first few rounds, making sure that everything's getting touched.
Oh, for sure. And I think it was a few rounds back as well that WADA kind of realized it's not too difficult for them to break into the C site, even with this Viper there. And so, like you mentioned, if they just get that C orb, I think Femboy just showstoppers in. Power can use their own Nightfall to counter the Nightfall of Glowstick if they do decide to play retake there. So all of this is leading me to like be further convinced that I really need to see YFPX fight for C-Mount after this. I think that's the easiest way for them to get. And they've been conditioning an A fight, so I doubt WADA want to fight into that.
We're like, it's hard, but please try.
oh, wait, Zoriental's going. Come on. Are they going to fight B main? That'd be it. That'd be it.
Now we win.
I don't know about that one.
Retrieving wall.
Are we fighting B main?
Maybe. WADA did do a few of the door opens on the first round just to go back and forth, so maybe they're trying to catch a straggler playing the door game, but I don't know. It does seem like they're committing a bit here. It's going to be the Prowler. I would have committed a little bit more, I think, if we saw that with a relay bolt.
No, I'm in a paranoia. A little more difficult to get the right angles. You try to push the Vice, the Clove Juno from C would probably just pivot to support as well. Did you get the orb? Which was their main goal here for Arya. Cut noise. You know, Odin's in play now as well on the B site, so that makes you wary of a B crunch development. The reclear here from Pillars is going to be everything. It could catch the proper timing on this rotate, or if WADA is prepared.
Back up.
They were.
How? Zoriental with the quick control crouch. And with the shot that gets one and somehow gets out alive by the skin of their teeth. Sherrod taking a bit of damage in that instant, so it was all separated. Oppie is just playing hopscotch over there as Juno walks up. They weren't expecting this to be a C hit without noise, but it was a walk up and now crushed into the site by WADA.
Unfortunately, there was no Vice util here. It kind of streamlined the process. Now, there's the Nightfall we mentioned. Curious to see if, yep, the showstopper instead will be utilized to counter it. Just scare tactics alone. Waiting out the rocket fuse here. Narrowly pinged out by the haunt means that Strahd knew where to take the engagement, but a little bit delayed in reaction time. And as a result, the fire players like Zorian to the slide on in. Juna not dead just yet. Tucks away in the cubby outside of main. But it's all down to stay with this outlaw, and 2 players protecting the defuse means that YFPX will get us back up to 8.
Yes, it is 8-8. Man, YFP's kind of, they held everybody B, and it allows them to really rotate left or right once they need it. Bring that Odin wherever it needs to go. Like you said, we were WADA kind of saying, oh, look, there's an Odin. Let's go this way. But yeah, without any util there, without too much to the side, I feel like WADA should have had a bit more space and get themselves collapsed on. And YFP is able to find that defuse in the post plant. Down to Sheriffs.
Oh, no.
It could still be a thrifty.
Last time it was they kind of got the graciousness of B-side handed to them. They are ready to fight off of any B main contact here. Even hoping that maybe a corner will go uncleared and Zoriental can just go nuclear. They're even baiting it out at the Prowlers, or Zoriental's about to say, don't get eager, you don't have to fight against the wall.
And they can tell that Prowler was basically in their face, right? It had no trail time for it to scream around. It was just boom, Prowler started and it was there. So both teams know they are basically arm's reach apart right now. A big push-up on the side of Stay from the right side of the map as B gets opened up. They finally get YFP a little antsy, and they're going to go ahead and rotate all the way back around here. They're going to get slowed by the Vice util. No, that's down. Everything lost at B.
They found my trap.
And we talked about Stay's consistency, but the impact is where we wanted to see more. And that kill alone opened up the entire A site, has paved the way at least for a plant here for WADA. Now, I mean, that's a disadvantaged retake, but there's still not good weaponry on the side of WADA. Marshall, Phantom, that is it.
There.
WADA moving around the map really well here. It seems like they got YFP antsy enough to want to take that fight with the 3 that they had hiding in B. Almost playing inside their heads for a moment. And here we have Oppie and Glowstick. Oh, wait. I like that bit of distraction from Odin Spam. This is ridiculous right now as the defuse starts. Kestrel's got to hit 2 amazing shots here. And it's going to be the Sheriff to do it, just waiting for... Oh my God! The Red Bull clutch of Red Bull clutches. Kestrel says, not even close.
And I'm going to need to see Kestrel's POV on Twitter later for that one. I mean, the player is staggered as 1-6 the spike and gets both in quick succession. Might be a certified GC Sheriff moment if I've seen one this matchup. That could be the round that breaks the camel's back for YFPX, right? Money a little sour. The ults could get them out of the hole they're finding themselves digging. But WADA, neither team has found consistency so far. And one needs to break the spell.
I think that round could break an elephant's back. Holy moly, that was intense. Content coming out of this matchup right now. 2 aces, clutches across the board in crazy style from these teams. What a series here. And we got even more to go for the day. So a low buy from YFPX. WADA skimmed by that one in a round where they shouldn't have lost as many members, but had the savior of Kestrel and almost won, or now I should say almost won off of that Steel Garden to make sure some following site takes will be even easier.
I don't know how I feel about this. You have a trap play set up on C, but then you have a Viper's Pit to deter them away from the C site.
Yeah.
Curious if they'll still get the opportunity to trigger it. I mean, now you will. They took down Oppie. They're going to accelerate on the C site. This is where Zoriental should be able to shine off the revolving door. But the front smoke might just deter that. They're just going to play the old-fashioned retake here off the overdrive, off the Steel Garden. I think this is the right call to cancel and readapt into a complete 4v5 retake.
Spike planted.
And that's a 2-2. No, they're going to send 3 from the top side and just allow the distraction, the crosshairs to be broken on the bottom side here by Zoriental. A lot to be asked. Yeah, they're going to throw it from both sides here. They enter into the site. Scary Shark on high. They are going to get a good amount of distance here. WADA's got to feel pretty pushed in, but they still have the room to fire, and that's going to be 4. No, 3 for Power Pixel as Femboy gets the last one onto Sherrod. 10-8 now for WADA.
Never realized how chaotic double clove smokes would be in Game Changers.
Yo.
Again, one completely veils the Odin for Femboys so that they can withstand the Steel Guard and come back and still play from an elevated position that never gets cleared by YFPX. While the people in Ben might have beaten them to the punch, ultimately the damage would have been done. And again, WADA's been kind of safe harboring these ultimates, waiting for that kind of YFPX counter. And talked about breaking the spell, that's exactly what it's able to achieve. Double digits. Down.
Retrieving flash.
Star.
Ooh, that C pressure. That's a little bit different. YFP was flying out way early. We usually see Oppie here around the top side, but now we've got 2 coming out. 3 actually still pushing on the extremity, and this is a really aggressive muscle flex for an eco round from YFP. I kind of like it.
Yeah, we've seen Oppie late round clear it, but not, again, aggression from the Vice here. I'd take risks on an eco, but this risk might just not pay off. The lurk from Juna. Clearing out Oppie means that it has to be a 4-person pivot back into CT. And this time, no ults, no better weaponry except for Sherrod and the not dead yet. So, WADA not letting anything slip through. No chances to be taken here. They want delay. They don't want to take fights. They don't have to. They want that 11th in as clean fashion as they can.
Yeah. There's another kill. It should fall through pretty easily here. Ooh.
Should.
As I say that. Snaps ahead back real fast as Femboy gets it. And I like those plays. I like the fact that YFB came out with the Sheriffs kind of strong on both sides. It kind of just reminds me of a group running at you, screaming, shouting. Like you're just trying to get them to go away, and they're like, all right, we have to wait this out. That's all we have to do. WADA's over there like, all right, they stopped. We'll go to C now. But still, YFP could have caught WADA off guard there. It's just not anything WADA is leaving up to chance right now.
Yeah, I'm getting bind deja vu here from, again.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't win the 6-4 timeout. We still had the WADA 6-4 timeout. Now we're getting the 11-8 timeout.
Yeah.
YFPX might get one more rogue round off this bye, but again, it feels like WADA are kind of hitting that final stride here. And it feels like the old cycle for YFPX just really can't catch up unless we maybe get like a heroic round out of Glowstick. And that Nightfall could propel them towards an overtime here, but
yeah,
feels like WADA's ahead in that department, head in money. And they have kind of figured out like the weaknesses right now for YFPX and are targeting them properly. And look at this, there's pain over towards V mains. They're trying to change things up here on the fly.
Do they fight it? They fight it or lurk and make noise, right? They found a way finally to kind of cool off Sherrod, at least in the 3rd map, which I think is a big help here. They're not allowing themselves to kind of be in the open without having a teammate to trade and find a kill back onto Sherrod kind of thing. So that's one of a good solve one of the good solves, I should say, that WADA has for themselves. And everybody's still coming online here. Alts with Juna, stay with that tour de force. What can they do on this round number 20?
I'm wondering if WADA picked up on the C trap that YFPX set in the prior round. And this is their attempt to make sure that they don't respring it here on following, since it was never triggered with the Viper's Pit getting dropped as soon as it did over on C. That's basically what all that util does.
True.
It primes them for a deposit, so YFPX has to invest extra util to flush them out or just leave it uncleared. Now they don't have as much flexibility. They'd have to play a full-on C retake if this is where WADA decides as their final resting point. But right now it just feels like it's a stayed cell. A is the final end goal. I'm slightly like swayed by the spike sticking around still Seaside. Are you gonna E-crunch?
They are going to take the clock down one of the first times here. Probably taking high note of all the util that's being used and what that might be on signature cooldown. And maybe they're saying, hey, we have a slight window here. You hear that arc rose flash going over towards the side of, what is that, B towards left. C? And it looks like they are going to be able to work this towards slowly on A. They like to end B on these rounds, but they have actually gotten themselves back towards A in this same situation after the B attempt. Oh, they hadn't even looked through the door. They were already looking for the side angles.
Wait, 13 seconds left to just slow the Thorns. Kestrel has to hold on to the side control. Glowstick cannot slip in through heaven. And somehow, in the nick of time, they will get the spike planted, but 3v4 now disadvantaged here. Someone has to step up. You have a little bit of a group here between Stay and Kestrel towards C-Link. They're trying to buddy system it up with the high-low off the tour de force. This could be everything, and it is the double kill found. WADA suddenly back in control of this round. Oh, that's a rare whiff, and the round is sealed.
Stay Vale coming up big. Yeah, a rare whiff there. They had quite a bit of time to shoot. That extra chamber utility making it tough on the teammate that they had to watch go down. 12-8. WADA have finally made it to that game point to put the utmost pressure on YFP. And they still go with the Outlaws here. Stay is just that confident. The quick click, being on a line, the comfort that comes with being able to look down that scope is the way that they think they're going to get over the line here. And that's going to head towards A to see if they can open it up.
And I saw 3 shields, 1 no shield. Like, every shot is lethal out of Stay right now. And WADA, I mean, a win here would be instrumental because they haven't even reached their final form, right? This is without Australis. This is without Starbound, showcasing the strengths of the other members of this core. Yeah. And Kestrel and Stay stepping up, especially in this series when the team needed it most, is so impressive. WADA.
Absolutely.
Similar start, just default. Pull out the Ice Util on C.
Playing it patient. A little bit of a high-low here from Oppie and Scary Shark. Oh, the shin one way. Looks like they're just gonna make a lot of noise. They still have that beat pressure, but this is really the first time we've seen this commitment by WADA just across that B to C area. Are they really just gonna hit site?
Again,
why not switch it up?
If it ain't broke, they don't fix it yet. They have 4 rounds to fiddle with. Got the opening kill on Zoriental in blue room. Going back to C here? Oh, I was gonna say it's a dangerous call. But they knew that Oppie likes to re-clear mound, and now they've made it past the Vice Util. Glowstick on an island, rounds under the pressure. And it looks like the rest may just get stuck in the wake. Sherrod knows it is dire time. Now, I mean, they're on dying time. Get a kill or damage assist to survive, and looks like the players are just retreating. They don't want to take that engagement, but Stay can. And it's all down to IGL Scary Shark subbing in for Corrupt. They cannot get the job done. 13-8, 2-1. WADA claim Swiss round 2 victory. And it finally